I'm Richard, this is Jake, and we'll be explaining the use and function of turbofan engines in this video. So we've all seen turbofan engines strapped onto 747 planes and wondered how they can haul the machine through the sky. So today Jake will be explaining how they work, and I'll be explaining the use and problems associated with the turbofans. The turbofan engine is used by most modern passenger airliners for its good fuel efficiency. It's the most modern variant of the gas turbine engine, and it's used with only 2 extra parts for more thrust and almost no extra fuel. It's nearly as efficient as a turboprop engine. The enclosed blades are enclosed by the inlet to allow it to operate at higher speeds. So it can operate at supersonic speeds. By slowing the air down to slower than the speed of sound, it can actually produce more thrust while moving faster than sound. So for the high fuel efficiency and the good thrust, it's a very common choice for all modern passenger airliners.
The turbofan works by sucking air through the main intake and compressing it through the body of the engine. The air is combined with a fuel mixture and ignited and pushed out the end of the engine body. In the diagram, you can see the components of the turbofan. Although there doesn't seem to be many components, this is only a diagram, and in saying that, different engine models will have different components. The first component is the main fan rotor, an inlet for the air to pass through. The fan is connected to a driving shaft, which runs through the whole engine. Air passes through the gaps between the turbine blades and into the second component. The second component, the low and high pressure compressors. When air passes through the main inlet and enters the compression chambers, the air is compressed higher and pushed through the numerous chambers into the next mechanism. The next mechanism, the combustion chamber, its role in the engine is to combine compressed air and jet fuel and ignite it to create thrust for the airplane to fly. It ignites the fuel with spark from the spark plugs and is set on tracked ignition from the distributors. After being ignited, the air and fuel create velocity, which is harvested by entering the turbine stages right after the combustion chamber, where it cools and begins to decompress, rotating the driving shaft that connects to the main fan rotor and all the compressors, which in turn spin the fan rotor, turn the compressors, and pulls more air into the engine, creating more thrust. The air and exhaust gases enter the decompression chamber, which decompresses high compressed air, allowing it to exit the engine without creating extra turbulence, and allows it to enter the external air easily.
As with anything mechanical, there are many potential problems when using turbofan engines. Today, I'll only be covering 2 of these problems, but keep in mind that there are more problems than just what I'll be outlining today. One such issue is known as flameout. Flameout usually occurs at mid to low power, either taxiing or at top of climb, when the combustion process either slows or fails altogether. Initially, flameout is very difficult to detect from the cockpit, especially when flying on autopilot. When flameout occurs, exhaust gas temperatures will drop and the engine speed will eventually drop below idle. Most modern aircraft will have warnings to notify the flight crew that the engine core speed has dropped below idle. To fix, you simply just restart the engine according to aircraft procedures, and that usually should be enough to restore the combustion process. Another issue associated with turbofans is known as a compressor surge. A compressor surge is caused by stalled air reducing engine function, similar to stalled air over a wing. Air usually ejects from the front of the engine with a loud bang. Most surges can self-recover without any action before the fault is noticed. Some surges can only be recovered through flight crew action by reducing the throttle down to 0 and re-accelerating the engine back to full power. If the surges continue at full power, the engine should be run on intermediate setting or shut down entirely. In rare cases, surges are unrecoverable. These surges are heard as a loud bang followed by 0 power readouts in the cockpit. Usually accompanied by severe engine damage, these surges should be managed according to severe engine damage procedures for each given aircraft.